I'm John Hatch, and this is a 5th, 6th grade lesson on understanding unit rates. Something that we need today, supplies would be a math notebook, a pencil, and a 4-function calculator. So if it's one of those fancy graphing calculators, you don't need that. We just need to know how to use addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Specifically today, we'll be using that division key a whole bunch. While you're going to get that stuff, I'm going to read over the standard for today. The standard is RPA2. Understand the concept of a unit rate associated with a ratio and describe the meaning of unit rate. So let's review some of the things we've talked about over the last couple weeks. A ratio is a comparison of two numbers, sometimes called values or quantities. And those can be written three different ways. Right here we have it written in word form, 4, 2, 1. We have it written in colon form, 4, colon 1. But remember, we say it as 4 to 1, and it's written as a fraction, 4 over 1, but it's set as 4 to 1. In this example, we have 4 salads. There's 1 egg there, and that is the ratio. Today, we're talking about a rate. A rate is a special type of ratio that compares two quantities with unlike units of measure, and that unit rate compares a quantity to 1 unit of another quantity. As an example, here are 24 bottles of Gatorade, and it says that it's on sale for $24. Here's another one that's $8 and it's 6 bottles. So when we find the unit cost, what we're trying to find out is how much is it for 1 bottle. Then when we know the unit cost, we can compare, and that's something that we'll be working on next week, and we'll be able to find out which is the best buy, and between buying 24 bottles of Gatorade or buying 6 bottles of Gatorade. One thing that you can do to find this out, to be able to find the unit rate, is that you make a chart. And so right here we have bottles in one column, we have cost in the other, and there are 6 bottles and they are $4. So we have that written out like that. Next, we divide by 2. And this first one we see divide by 2, that's just something we can do mentally. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. $4 divided by 2 is $2. This next one, we can divide the $4 by 6. And this gets a little tricky, and that's where you'll want to be able to use a 4-function calculator. And on this, when you divide, it comes out with the answer as being 0.666666667. And we don't need all of that. In money, there are just 2 numbers behind the decimal point. And so we round in that. So in our answer here, you see that the cost from 1 bottle is 67 cents. We have another example. So all this stuff's talking about having a party, like a class party. And with this one, it says, buy 3 balloons for $5. Well, how much does that cost for 1 balloon? And so with that, we can set up a chart. And in the one column, it says 3 balloons. In the other column, it says cost is $5. So 3 and 5, there's not a common factor. So that's kind of a tough one, and you'll need to use a calculator on that one. And so with that, when you have the $5 and you divide it by 3, it comes out to be 1.66666, a whole bunch of numbers after the decimal. And again, we can just round that up. So it says $1.67. And so that's how much 1 balloon would cost. The moms of the classroom were wanting to have a party. They were wanting to buy balloons for the classroom. They were wanting to have cupcakes. And they found it where it's 4 cupcakes for $6. So we make a chart. The first column says cupcakes, 4 of them. The cost is $6. Well, we can divide that by 2, and that comes out pretty easy. You can do that in your head. It's now 2 cupcakes, and it's $3 a piece. So we're getting closer to knowing how much 1 would cost. But then we might need to use a calculator on this next one. And when you divide $6 by 4, it comes out to be $1.50. On the calculator, you can see that it shows 1.5. And since there are 2 digits behind the decimal, you make that other digit a 0. So 1.50 or $1.50. Hey, let's try a few problems together. On this one, the science club at school wants to feed birds in the little science garden area. They found 4 pounds of bird seed that costs $12. Let's find the rate for just 1 pound. So we have a chart here. We write down bird seed in the first column. We write down the cost, $12 in the second column. When you divide both those numbers by 2, it comes out to be 2 pounds is $6. Well, we can divide that again, divide it by 4, and you get down to 1 pound. That's what we're looking for, where it's just one of something. 1 pound is $3. So when they're looking at buying bird seed, they would be looking at it at being $3 a pound. Well, let's do another example. Instead of it being bird feed, this time they're looking at hummingbird feeders. And they found where they could buy 6 of them for $24. Well, how much does one cost? You make a chart. In the first column, you put the number of feeders. In the other column, you put that it's $24. If you divide both those by 2, you know it's 3 for feeders and it's $12. So we're getting closer to just 1 feeder, but we're not quite there yet. On this next one, when we divide 24 by 6, we can get that there's 1 feeder and it's $4. So each of those feeders would cost $4. Well, let's try this one. The science club wants to feed the squirrels. And so they bought some special acorns, 24 acorns for $14. Well, how much does one cost? So they set up the chart. Acorns, they're 24. The cost is $14. And you can divide by 2, and that gives you 12. And that's $7. That one's kind of easy. On the next one, you can divide by 4. That's a little bit harder, but you can still do that in your head. And it comes out to be 6 acorns, and it costs $3.50. Well, we definitely want to use a calculator for this next one. To divide by 8, you now get 3 acorns for $1.75. So we're starting to get close, but we're going to have to use the calculator to find that 1 acorn costs 58 cents. So that's how we found the unit rate for that. So let's try some on your own. We have these items right here. The first item that we see on the left is 6 Hubba Bubbas. And so we're going to find out if it's $12 for all that bubble gum, how much will it cost for one? For the Beyblades, there are 4 Beyblades for $28. And we're going to find out how much it is for one. For the 8 slime and putty, it is $26. And we're going to find out how much it is for one. So let's give you a minute and a half to be able to find out how much it is for 1 Hubba Bubba, 1 Beyblade, and 1 slime and putty. Well, here's a minute and a half. All right, 10 more seconds. Okay, let's do the one in the middle first. The 4 Beyblades. So we set it up so that the cost for 4 was $28. You can do it in your head that it's for 2 of them is $14, and for 1 Beyblade it ends up being $7. The next one, we're gonna look at the Hubba Bubba. When there were 6 for $12, the next one was 3 for $6, 2 for $4, and 1 Hubba Bubba cost $2. The last one that we're going to look at is 8 slime and putty that cost $26. And you could do the divide by 2. That gets you close for it to be 4 slime at $13. But you'll need to use a calculator to find the rate for 1. And it costs $3.25 for 1. So that's how we found the unit rate for each of those items. Let's go ahead and review what we've talked about for today. A ratio is a comparison of 2 numbers, also called values and quantities. A rate, the part that we talked about today, is a special type of ratio that compares two quantities with unlike units of measure, and that unit rates compare a quantity to one unit of another quantity. Such as the 24 Gatorades. If they cost $12 for that whole box of Gatorade, then we find out that for one, the unit rate would be 50 cents. So this concludes our lesson on finding unit rates. I sure am glad that you joined us today to be able to do some math together. Don't forget about going to the homepage to be able to download the homework assignment. And we'll see you next week when we'll solve some problems on unit rate. Have a good day.